time to make a video here in West Michigan. It is December the 7th, 2016. It is 11:10 late Wednesday morning. I'm sitting here in the dining room writing in my December 2016 diary. I'm on page 992. And I mentioned I was going to get some books in the mail that came yesterday. And one of the books I got in the mail was a new book called The Triune God by Fred Sanders. This is a new series called New Studies in Dogmatics. So I've been reading this last night and this morning on Trinitarian theology. And the other book I got in the mail yesterday was this new book called The Feud, Vladimir, Nabokov, and Edmund Wilson, and the End of a Beautiful Friendship by Alex Beam. So I got that in the mail. And then I think it was last week I was in my library things site, and I came across a book that looked interesting, and I got this in the mail. I bought it used, called Nature's God, Heretical Origins of the American Republic by Matthew Stewart. I saw this book in somebody's library thing, and it looked very interesting. And I remembered a couple of years ago I read this book in my library by Matthew Stewart called The Courtier and the Heretic, Leibniz, Spinoza, and the Fate of God in the Modern World. So I remember reading this and enjoying it, and so I thought I'd check out this book, Nature's God, Heretical Origins of the American Republic. So yeah, it says here, derided as infidels and atheists in their own time, the radicals who founded America set their sights on a revolution of the mind. Not only Thomas Jefferson and wily and elusive Ben Franklin and the unappreciated Thomas Paine, but also Ethan Allen, the hero of the Green Mountain Boys, and Thomas Young, the forgotten founder who kicked off the Boston Tea Party. They all wanted to liberate us not just from one king, but from the tyranny of supernatural religion. The ideas that inspired them were neither British nor Christian, but largely ancient, pagan, and continental. The universe of the Roman poet and philosopher Lucus, and potent but non-transcendent natural divinity of the Dutch heretic Benedict de Spinoza. Drawing largely on the study of European philosophy, Matthew Stewart proposes a genealogy of philosophical ideas from which America's revolutionaries drew their inspiration, all scrupulously researched and documented, enlivened with storytelling of the highest order. Along the way, he uncovers the true meanings of nature's God, self-evident in many other phrases, crucial to understanding of the American experiment, but now widely misunderstood. So I got that in the mail yesterday, used. I also, a couple of nights ago, I was on the internet and I came across something about a small press that does translations called Wakefield Press, Cambridge, Massachusetts. And I noticed that they did a little treat. They translated Honore de Balzac's Treatise on Elegant Living. It was translated out of French by Napoleon Jeffries. So I got this in the mail. I've been reading that. I collect Balzac's writings, his novels. He wrote, I think, I got 91 novels, all called the Human Comedy. And anyway, I have like 13 of his novels in our library, so I got that. So those are the books I got in the mail. Oh, I mentioned about this. I went to a thrift store and found this book the other day, Sleepwalking Through History, America in the Reagan Years, by Haynes Johnson. I got that from a thrift store. And so I've been reading still The Castaway Lounge by Joan Ballard. And I've been reading Pursuit of Power, Europe in 1815 and 1914 by Richard J. Evans. I read this yesterday in the afternoon, and I'm still reading The Village. I read yesterday The Village, The History of Greenwich Village by John Strassenbach. I read the chapter on the folk music scene, and he talks about Joan Baez and Bob Dylan and Pete Seeger and the whole, and then he goes into from folk to rock, and then there's a chapter on Lenny Bruce coming up. And last night I read again Casanova, The World of Seductive Genius by Lawrence Bergreen. So that's what I read yesterday, and so that's what's going on here as far as my reading. I don't expect any books in the mail today, and I thought about going to thrift stores, but I'm kind of like in the mood just to sit and read and write in my diary and drink coffee and watch the birds. Not much else. I have also been reading in the mornings still, Called by Triune Grace, Divine Rhetoric, and Effectual Call. I'm almost finished with this. And I have been enjoying this book here this morning, The Triune God, The Doctrine of the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I'm on the chapter Revelation of the Triune God. So yeah, that's what's going on here. It's kind of a quiet couple of days. So yeah, so thank you for the new subscribers and for the comments and the questions, and hoping you're having a good week. And until next time, bye.